Now, I'm sure we all know about Kevin Jones' grenace on hole 4 at Jarva, but there was something that was much more interesting to me. Let's get into it. Alright, so right off the bat, you may not necessarily know the history of Jarva. I certainly didn't before coming into this event. I know everyone loved it, but looking at the actual history, it was made in 95, and it was actually in a pretty sketchy area. There was a lot of crime occurring at this area, and a bunch of people just dumped all their trash on the course. So these people resurrected this area to be one of the best disc golf courses in the world, rated #1 on UDisc a couple years ago, and then the city decided to kind of destroy 14 of the holes with the city planning project. Kind of destroyed the course, but that was in 2021, so this is the first event back on the tour where you can finally see it in more of its true form. So it really is an amazing course that I would hope we get to see on the Pro Tour, but we'll just have to wait and see because that might not happen ever. But enough of that, let's talk about the Jarva Open. So we don't actually have any coverage of it. So Luke was totally destroying in round 1 with 8 under, actually beating Kevin Jones, even though he had a grenace on hole 5. And I was thinking that, yeah, that's probably like a pretty good outcome, like 8 under, yeah, you're doing good. But the next round, he arguably had a better round, even though he had the same score of 8 under, because he had 11 birdies. And I think this was definitely a testament to how good his game is right now, because he was just dicing up these lines and making it look pretty darn easy. So even though there was a bunch of players that were potentially fighting for the win here, he still had a pretty good cushion if you wanted to just coast on in his final round. But really the overall skill set that he was performing so well was just hitting a very consistent straight line and allowing himself not have to worry too much about any OBs, not having any crazy putts. He actually had 0% in circle 2, and that was because he actually never really had to do circle 2 putts because he was just getting it inside the circle every single time. Besides a couple of OBs, it was basically a flawless round. And then we get to the final round, and Luke was definitely coasting a little bit, also playing not the best, had a double on hole 7, but he was still able to execute very well on this course, allowing himself to coast on in on the final 9, putting him at 5 under on the round and winning overall by 3 strokes. And even though he was coasting a little bit, there was one player in particular that was fighting for the win, and that was Isaac Robinson. Come from behind, absolutely crazy, got a 13 under to finish his round with a 1083 rated round, which is insane, especially because his first round was 973 rated. So over 100 rating points higher from one round to the next, absolutely insane. But it just goes to show how difficult this course is and how hard it is to hit these gaps. So with that, Luke was able to take down the Jarva Open, putting him in a very cool spot, being the first American to ever win a European Pro Tour event. I know you guys might be thinking, well, what about Paul and Eagle? Well, that is the European Open. This is the first European Pro Tour champion from America. But this really is a sign that the Pro Tour is expanding a lot wider than just America. We have so many events each weekend, and it's not just an America Fest. We have a good set of events anywhere in the world, so we finally get to see those areas that have amazing disc golf that you just don't get to see very much because there was no coverage beforehand. Now we finally get to see what that looks like, and it's no longer just hearing about great disc golfers. We finally get to see these courses, see the amazing beauty that is going on courses like this. And you could just tell by the coverage that Luke and Kevin were just kind of like loving the course, loving the vibes. They really were just feeling like they were on vacation is how it seemed. Like they were just in their element, playing disc golf, kind of shredding it, living a good life. And I know this still is their job and they try to be professional, but you can just tell they're having a great time. And I think if they have a great time, then it translates to great disc golf and makes the overall vibes much better. And of course, you guys might be thinking like me, well, what does that mean for Hogan? Because I'm sure he's not in Europe. And that actually was answered in this interview in his press conference, talking about his win. Here's what he had to say.
The most famous pit on tour.
I believe so.
And how is Hogan doing, and where is Hogan right now?
Good question. I've been missing my big guy. He's in Kansas. He's with my parents. He's getting around. He's doing well. Thank you for the question. I miss him.
We hope you get to see him soon.
So overall, I'm just very pumped for Luke. I'm glad that his game is feeling confident enough to totally destroy this course, win by 3 strokes, even though he's still only rated 1016. Like totally not what we would expect for a course like this that would line up probably pretty well for an Isaac Robinson or Alden Harris. Obviously, the level of competition here is a little bit less than the US, but it is still a great event, and I cannot wait for more of these events where we get to see some true elite level players from the US come to Finland, Sweden, Norway, because there's so much great disc golf here. All right, so with that said, what do you guys think about the Jarva Open course? Do you want to see it change? Do you want to see it return more to its true form? I'd love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Wild Runs, signing out. Peace.